Right, we're back here at the Dumbalk Campdraft, and not all Victorians on today's show. Mac Shann, firstly, welcome, and thanks for coming in and being a judge as well.
No worries, thank you very much.
I'm not officially here, but they can't run these without the judges, and yourself and Gayle are both judges here today, along with a few other people, but big commitment judging, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and I mean, there's certain things the sport can't run without: cattle donors, committee members and judges.
It's funny, when I do these interviews, cattle donors, the committee always get thanked. Sometimes the judges get left off, don't they?
Oh, yeah, it can be a bit of a thankless job, but since I've been chairman of the judging of the ACA, I'm trying to make it make it a cool thing to do again. People sort of frowned upon it there for a while with new rules and those sorts of things, and people sort of think, oh, everybody hates the judge, but I think we need to change that mentality and sort of get back to judging being a really prestigious sort of thing to do.
We might touch on that at the end, because there's a few things I've noticed just going around lately. But this camp draft, is how many times you've been coming? Is this your first time?
Yeah, no, second time in Victoria, first time to a Victorian camp draft, and it's amazing.
I just spoke to a few people, Matty Holtz, Kenny Bolton. We could be in Queensland. It's the same quality, the same people. Well, not the same people, but the same type of people, if you like, the camp draft people. And it's homely, and it's got a great feel. It's got a hill, which is one thing all these camp drafts need to have. It's got a bar up over the top of the hill, so you can watch what's going on as well. It's got a real good vibe about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, Dumbalk, it's an amazing facility. For the first time we've been here, and just to see the quality of cattle they got, and for the restricted open the other night, the shootout. I've never seen drafting like it in my sort of 25 years of competing, and Gayle got to judge it, and it was something special. But yeah, great cattle, unbelievable cattle really. They got a little bit warm today in the middle of the day and a little bit sticky, but I mean, that's camp drafting, and competitors have to deal with that. They might be a bit spoiled down this neck of the woods, but yeah, it's A grade, that's for sure.
Recently been to Dalby, it wasn't sticky here at all today. It was just a lovely day.
No, the cattle were a bit sticky, but I mean, it was only marginally warm. But yeah, just camp drafting is camp drafting. If the cattle get a bit tough, you just got to get a little bit tougher.
What is it about camp drafting? It's one of those questions I ask a lot of people. I'll give you a bit of time to think about it, because I've only been doing it probably 5-6 years. Started with a bit of stuff with Mark Barton. I've been lucky enough to have done Chinchilla 3 times. I went to Springshaw, and I always said I was green. I don't say I'm green anymore. I don't have an immense knowledge of it, but it's just something unique. My daughter's here with me. It's the second draft that she's been to, and everyone makes her feel welcome. Like, what do you reckon it is about camp drafting that makes it such a unique sport that more people need to know about, I suppose?
Yeah, look, I think the fact that we're all nearly from the country or bush or whatever you want to call it, and I honestly think that pioneering bloodline that's come from the bush, from the original guys that, not so much the explorers, but the guys that went out and pioneered the outback and wherever else, you've got to have a certain amount of resilience that's got to be bred into you, and if not, I think they moved on. So I think that that line of people have come through, and it's just that we're one big family, and if you see someone somewhere and you see them a second time, it's like you've known them forever. So it's that real it's that real camaraderie, and you're going over there to all do the same job, and the cattle are the same and the ground's the same, so you just and there's so many talking topics, where you're either talking bloody breed of cattle, breed of truck, bloody how bad the judge is, how good the judge is. But no, it's certainly a great community, yeah.
And it has everyone, and it's got some very wealthy people as part of it. You got some people that are probably trying to keep it afloat, if you like, and it's their local one, and they go from there. But everyone's treated the same, aren't they, when they're here in a camp?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those sports, you only do as good as what you put in. It doesn't matter whether you've got bred a horse or gone and bought one for a lot of money. If you don't put the time and effort in and have the mindset and the skill level to do it, you're not going to do very well at it. There's a guy here that used to, they tell me, played AFL and won a grand.
Josh Gibson, he goes okay.
Yeah, Josh. He just to see we hardly ever see Josh, obviously, but just to see how far he's come, and if you've got a little bit of grit and determination and a bit of competitiveness, you'll get it, and you'll end up doing very well at it. And to see him get a ribbon there last night was excellent.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was down there before, and it is cool. He's pretty much walked away from a sport that he was elite at and come to this and wants to get better. So that's one thing that is cool about it. It's also a big camp out. It's quite unique. This one being New Year's Eve, and when I heard about it, I was thinking, geez, I don't know, you want to be away. Where would you want to be anywhere else? Like, no one's going to be leaving. I mean, it's going to be New Year's night. You're going to be spending it with friends and people like-minded like yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, when I flew down here Boxing Day, it was definitely second place on my list. I had the MCG firmly ahead of it. But to come here and watch that camp drafting a couple of days ago, it was amazing, and I wouldn't go to the MCG for quids, it was just unbelievable event. And it's just so, like you said before, it's just such a friendly environment to all age groups and to any sort of skill level. It's just really accepting sort of an environment.
It is great sport. I thoroughly enjoy it. You're ACA, you're head of the judges, the chairman of the judges, and it's quite interesting you say there before about Josh Gibson and the likes. I'm interested with the judging and how it works, and with this sport getting more and more recognition, and there's more people getting out there and being held, I suppose, to a higher standard now. If there's more eyes, there's more cameras, so people can say, hang on, I got this score and here's this run. Are they some of the challenges that you have at the minute?
Yeah, for sure. And the ACA has taken one of the biggest steps forward, I would say, in we're starting to introduce a judges rating system that runs through Camp Draft 1. And we have a survey that gets sent out to every event, and the open judges rate the judges on the weekend, so that we're able to now get some data feedback back into the office to see how our judges are performing. And it's certainly not out there to criticise the judges. It's more to back the judges up. If we get bad feedback, we can simply look at the rating system and say, no, those judges did a good job. It's just a personal attack,
We're trying to have a sensible conversation, and Stevie comes walking in. It's okay. But there's two sides to it. I know that because I know his name's just left me from the Northern Territory. Got to be a judge at Warwick. He wasn't competing at Warwick. Anyway, it won't come back to me for a while. Will Ben? No, it doesn't matter.
This year?
Yep. Doesn't matter. He'll be, if he watches this, he'll be telling me off, but it'll be fine. But he was honoured to be a judge at Warwick, and I see that, and I say to myself, well, that's awesome. Dolby, Will Durkin was there doing a lot of the judging. You see these great competitors and they are judging, but is that necessarily the right, I suppose, way to do it? If you know what I mean, like, not always the best player in the field is always the best judge as well. Is that one of the challenges that you do have, that there is the prestige of sitting out there judging, but you're also got to be doing the right sort of job? Yeah,
look, and I think judging's one of those things. You won't get asked to do a big job unless you've done a fair few jobs in the background and seen
Ben Stanger.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's great to be doing both, to be seen, to be judging, so you're putting back into the support, because it's a bit tricky if you never put your hand up to judge, because then people start thinking, oh, if we all did that, there wouldn't be any judges out there, So I think it goes both ways, but I think it's nothing better than seeing someone's a brilliant competitor and then tomorrow he picks the whip up and does a great job, and then the cycle goes on and on.
Yeah. So you're in favour of it, provided they're at the highest standards.
Oh yeah, and I think, and that's part of what we're trying to do in the ACA is with our rating system, to have people elevated to a level where people are saying, geez, he won Judge of the Year or something, so all the younger people like to watch his style and see that he's a great judge, and possibly from that data, that might select our Warwick judges or our national final judges, because we can see the hard evidence of how they've gone and been so consistent.
So you wouldn't take it away from the committees as such, but you'd also advise the committees that we'd suggest these ones, and if they have another reason at them, you're more than happy to entertain it, but you're trying to streamline it so the more prestigious ones are judged by the higher rated judges.
That's right, and it just makes sense to me. I'm not going to get given a whistle to go and do an NRL game because they want to see the evidence of how those guys are rating. So I think that's where our sport's going. You know all about how much money's invested in it. I don't think there's many other sports out there that would see the private money invested in it that what this sport has got. So I think, and look, I don't like sounding like a critic as a judge, but the committee can do a magic job the ground can be brilliant, the cattle can be brilliant, but if the judge isn't up to scratch, everybody drives out with a bad taste in their mouth, and that's very unfortunate, but that's black and white. So our level of judging in my 25 years, I think, has skyrocketed, but we still just need to keep pushing away at it. And we had a judges clinic here on the first day, and it was great to have the conversation, with all the Victorians and a lot of a lot of New South Wales guys here as well. So it was just the best thing about judging is a conversation. You talk about new rules, you talk about different styles of judging, and all that stuff helps. If someone picks up a few tips from a clinic, well, that's a job done.
And let's face it, it's like the guys on the other side of the camp. When you're a judge, like you're judging one person against one beast, it's no different than them trying to get it around, and you're watching. It's not the easiest. I was explaining the rules to my daughter, but it's not the easiest to say what is the perfect round or nearly the perfect round and what's not, because it's only so it's all, there's still that human element, and there always will be that human element to it.
Yeah, that's right, definitely human element and the luck factor to some degree, but and all judges are looking for something a bit different, but we're obviously looking to take it to that next level where we want the horse to be 100% on its game, the rider to be 100% on his game, and obviously match up with that great cow and put on a spectacle for the crowd. And if we could get camp drafting to that next level where the crowd do want to turn up and watch it, it'd be a hell of a spectacle.
Give you a little bit of think time. Where do you see camp drafting ending up? Like, you're on the ACA, obviously you're proactive, you're trying to grow it, you're doing the umpires, the judges, and things along those lines. I would imagine you've got more other things on the go as well. Where do you see camp draft heading? Because I've only been in a small time. I can see where it's heading. I'm just wondering where you might see it heading.
Yeah, look, who knows? I would love to see it stay reasonably grounded and simple. I said to these guys here at the judges clinic, I'm all for it staying as a one judge. It's jumped into 2 and 3 in a lot of places, but there's no such thing as having 2 head stockmen on a mustering camp, and that's where it was derived from, one guy making a decision. I think when we go down the track of having 2 judges, you need to start looking at private boxes where they can't hear or see, how the other guy's going and those sorts of things. We've probably just jumped ahead of ourselves a little bit without crossing all those sorts of things, because just imagine hearing a totally different score to yours over 800 rounds and trying to stay concentrating. Those sorts of things have not been thought through before we jumped into it. But yeah, look, who knows? The money's going to keep going up and up because sponsors are going to start coming on board more and more. I'd love it not to get down the cutting road where we have amateur and pro, because it just seems you lose that great environment. Yeah, that's right. I'd hate to think your daughter turning up and people not knowing her from the last show because it's just 2 different families, So I really think we need to try and not let that happen, but there's going to be a long conversation about how we do, because the more people that come into it, the harder it is to get in. And the thing is, we drive 1,000 k's to go to a camp draft. If they start saying, you can only have 4 runs here, well then we stay home, So it's one of those things. It's going to be a hard one, but anyway, we'll see anyway.
Oh, it's a great sport. I do think, I don't want to be a negative though. I think that's one thing that it is going to change. As I said, I've only been a short time, and the money that's coming in, the people that are involved in it, it is definitely going to change, that's for sure. Mac, I better let you go. Your cordial's sitting over there. You had another cordial almost bombard us just here before as well. But
well, it's certainly been great coming down here. We only did one other trip a couple of years ago and did the Great Ocean Road, but to come down here and, we were lucky enough to see a koala walking across the road the other night, bloody albino koala. So yeah, it's certainly been an experience, that's for sure. And to run into all these mates that we see, once a year at Tamworth, to catch up with them twice a year, it's probably, some of them probably could take just the once, but anyway, the rest of them are all pretty good.
Most of the Victorians are good. Kate Jones won't like this at all because there's a heap of Victorians. She keeps giving me a hard time. Oh, you only talk to the Victorians, you only talk to the Victorians. Well, there's plenty of Victorians here. But I think that's one of the things. It is noted that the sport's so big in Queensland and New South Wales. It is big here as well, and it's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. It's been very good to come down, and I reckon we'll definitely be down here with a truckload of horses in the next year or two and have Christmas, and I might get my day at the MCG when I'm down here that time.
That'll be over too. I don't know how we ended up, but we'll worry about that another time. Mac, thank you very much. Congratulations on the judge, and thanks for giving me a bit of time and a little bit of insight as well, mate.
Great to talk to you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. See you.